I'm gonna show you how to make this into this, and in less than 30 minutes. Normally, we buy this chicken stock. It's very affordable. You know, generally it's really good, but when you use the whole chicken, especially when you can get a really good quality one, this is an organic young chicken, I guess, from Costco. This was 12 bucks. You're gonna get a really wholesome meal out of this. A lot of chicken meat, and there's a whole bunch of innards or organs, which is really good for you, and especially for your kids. We're gonna have that inside of the pot. Oh, and I mentioned 30 minutes. This is what you would call a pressure cooker. I'm gonna show you exactly how to use one of these. Normally when you do a chicken stock, it could take you 1 to 2 hours at least. I can cook this bird in 20 minutes and it's so easy. For the ingredients, I'm gonna split it into 2 different parts because this is just chicken stock, and I'm gonna be using one that I made yesterday right here, along with those delicious looking pickles. For now, I'm just gonna show you the chicken stock first. Whole chicken, literally everything in it. I'm gonna cut this plastic bag and put the chicken and everything right into the pot because I did wash the outside of the bag. I learned this from Adam Raguzzi. Shout out to his channel, amazing. I learned a lot. Ingredients for the soup: onion, 1 big onion, 3 garlic cloves, salt and pepper, 2 bay leaves. That is the basis. That's all you really need. That's what that is over there. I'm gonna add a little bit of celery and maybe 1 carrot. The thing is, if you add these, it's probably not gonna be very edible. So I'm gonna toss it, but you're gonna get a lot of the nutrients from it. But if you just had this, you would get this, plus all the protein from the meat, which you could use for the chicken noodle soup, or you could put it on rice, or what I'm gonna make later, which is delicious, with beer. Clean the outside of your bag, of course. Open this guy up, right in the sink. Lift it out, and put it right into the pot. That easy. A couple things here. The insides, don't be scared of it. And guess what? This is where all the health is. Oh, that's the neck. That looks like it could be kidneys. The liver. Have you heard of the Liver King? There's a reason that guy is freaking gigantic, other than steroids. I think this is a heart. All this. Amazing for your health, amazing for your kids. It is the secret to very healthy chicken stock. Leave it all in there, just like this, okay? If I'm really sick or the kids are sick, there's 2 things I try to get into their diet. 1, green juice. Cold press, freshly juiced, fruits and vegetables. There's almost nothing better. Secondly, bone broth. But the secret is not just the bones, but the organ meat. We don't eat a lot of organs in the American diet. If you go to other countries, they eat everything. And you find in a lot of countries, they're a lot healthier than Americans. That's the secret. So the way I get into my kids is I actually mash it up into sauces, or I put it into my soup. So it's gonna be right there. Now we're not gonna eat that, we're gonna toss that, but we're gonna get all the goodness out of it. Toss in your ingredients. Onions first, 2 bay leaves, salt and pepper, garlic. All you're gonna do is fill this up until just above the top of your chicken. They say not to fill up your pressure cooker more than halfway when doing a stock or soup. So that's what I'm gonna do. I don't wanna put it too much higher. Just wash these carrots. I'm not even gonna slice it. Just break it apart, put it in. Same thing with this celery. I'm just trying to get some of the goodness of it. I did wash this. I didn't really trim it. That's okay because I will just toss all this out later. Not complex. Put this back on. There you go. Much easier. This leafy part, I will keep this. I'll break this part off and chop it up and add it at the very end. I also learned this from that Adam Raguzzi guy because, again, there's a lot of good nutrients in this and might as well not waste it. There you go. I'm going to turn the heat down to a lower setting. It's going to just do its thing for the next 20 minutes. Let me set a timer. That's all it takes. Well, that is cooking, which is going to take me 20 minutes. I'm starving right now. All right, so this is inspired by Hainan chicken, which is from Singapore and the Southeast Asia area. They usually have a poached chicken with some type of rice. This is the chicken stock that I made the day before with this chicken. Instead of making chicken noodle soup, I'm gonna make a more Asian type of flavor. Instead of water, I'm gonna be using the chicken stock along with ginger, and that's gonna cook in here, and then after that, I'm gonna eat it with this chicken, which is gonna be cold, and it's gonna be delicious. So let me clean the rice, and then I'll show you exactly what I put into it. By the way, I learned from my friend Shoda in Seattle, wash your rice with cold water. I did not know that. Also wash it 3 times at least. Makes a difference. Alright, so the rice is washed. Normally I would put water in here and start boiling it, but I'm gonna use the chicken stock, which is gonna give it a nice, amazing flavor. To give it that kind of, I don't know, Asian flavor, I'm gonna put ginger slices. Not very much. If you put too much, it's gonna be overpowering. And I'll be adding salt and a tiny little bit of MSG. This is gonna make it very savory, and it's gonna pair well with the chicken later. So let me go ahead and show you how I make it and then start cooking it. Salt, about that much. I don't know how much that is, maybe a little bit more. Now that it's boiling, I'm gonna go ahead and cover it and then lower the heat and let it cook for 17-18 minutes. All right, so the timer just went off. It's been 20 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the heat and just leave it. Now normally, if you wanna just speed up this process, you turn the release valve. This guy right here, you see where it says pressure, release? I could turn that and it'll look like this. Whoa! But I don't want the house smelling like amazing, delicious chicken since the girls are sleeping. So I'm just gonna let this sit. What's gonna happen is, this guy is gonna go down, and that means it's depressurized and I can take the lid off. At that point, I will release a valve, but nothing will come out of it, as you just saw. Ginger chicken rice is done. Wow. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be good. Get my plate. Oh yeah, mix this all up. Smells great. The one thing about a clay pot, you get some of these burnt spots. It's all good. That is flavor. Oh yeah. Get the sauce. This is just sweet chili sauce. Get the chicken right on top. I'm gonna go ahead and fan it out a little bit for presentation. I've actually never had this dish. This is not necessarily traditional right here. This is just a side pickle dish that I made. It's cucumbers, carrots, and I did a quick pickle. We're talking rice vinegar with sugar, chili oil, salt. That's it. The rice was made with the chicken broth. This is a chicken, which I could take a quick dip, taste. From me cooking the whole chicken. And we're gonna have Judy try it. It's just a quick pickle. See, it all comes together, huh? Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, it's really falling apart. You'll let the chicken cool, and then you're gonna strain this when this also cools. I just separated the chicken meat from the bones, the cartilage. Now I'm gonna strain the broth. All right, so it's been a few days now. I'm finally gonna make the chicken noodle soup. So it got really late.
Can I help?
Yeah, go. Yeah, you can totally help. So I'm finally gonna make the girls their chicken noodle soup. They just got home from school. I'm boiling the chicken stock. I've got the chicken here. I've got the ingredients: onions, celery, carrots. I'm using some leftover pasta noodles, and this will be turned into a healthy, wholesome, delicious chicken noodle soup. I'm gonna go ahead and add this right now.
Oh, that's. Did you make that?
What, chicken noodle soup? Because I want to make it from scratch. It's gonna be very good for you because there's.
Doesn't it? Oh, Daddy.
Yeah.
Who's it? Is that celery?
Celery, yes.
Oh.
There's celery in the one that you guys eat too.
Can you make it like boiled?
I'm gonna boil them right now. That's what I'm doing. Don't worry, I'm gonna make it nice and small so that I'm not gonna really affect that. Okay, so the onions have been boiling, I want to say for 5 minutes. I just want to get them so soft that they almost melt into the soup stock. Now I put my more firm or harder vegetables. So I start with the carrots, then I go the celery, and then I'll finish with the chicken. That's already done, so it just needed to get warmed up. I'll put the noodles in a little bit before the chicken, now that I think about it, because that does take 10 minutes to cook, and then it'll be perfectly done. Woo! Got to put the carrots in first because it's going to take longer to cook, and you don't want them to get too soft where they break apart, but you also want them to be soft enough where it's enjoyable. All right, so this is the beginning of the chicken soup. Been about, I want to say 6 minutes since the carrot's been in there, and all you're going to do is try it. Those are already softened. They'll continue to soften. Put in some additional salt. At this point, I will put a tiny bit of MSG, or as I like to call it, magic salt. So one thing, this is kind of old pasta that didn't get quite used. Why I like old pasta for chicken noodle soup is because it's okay to overcook it, because it's already not ideal in terms of its texture because it's a little bit older. And rather than throwing it away, you can just put it into a soup like this. All right, so I'm gonna let that cook for the 10 minutes that the pasta requires, and then add my chicken. All right, so we've got about 2 minutes left for the pasta. I'm gonna add the chicken. I like to use a dark meat because it holds up to the boiling a little better. So I gotta get to some daddy duties, but this is the final product. I hope you guys try and don't get intimidated by cooking whole chickens. If you got an Instant Pot or pressure cooker, 20 minutes. I think in some cases even 15 minutes. Okay, as you can hear, I gotta go. You wanna eat chicken soup? Want chicken noodles? No! Yeah, they really do like it.